exactly what the narrator tells you to do, then it tells you that you're free and you're happy. I think that's the point of the story here. Alright, we're gonna go back. Can I? New game? There we go. We're gonna go back. Let's try the other paths.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Come on. We're going downstairs this time. You know, before we went upstairs to the boss's office, this time we're going downstairs.
As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a single person here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer.
Alright, downstairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, of admitting that he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, was it really worth taking that risk? All because he believed everyone had disappeared? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. Everyone I know simply vanishing out of the blue, there's almost no other explanation for it. And a nagging fear began to creep up in his mind. Questions that had been there all along. He just hadn't put his finger on them yet. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Was he just walking around in circles?
We're not walking around in circles.
Where am I, he thought. And the more he found himself unable to answer these questions, the more questions continued to arise, until he came to the issue that had been slowly boiling until he could ignore it no longer. Why is there a voice in my head, dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Oh,
Suddenly,
here we go.
every door slammed shut. No, Stanley screamed. I need to get out of here. I need to know that there's something out there. I need to know it's not just all in my head. And he screamed and clutched at his skull as the voice grew harsher and the music in the background rose higher and higher. And then, moments before collapsing to the ground, Stanley clenched his fists and screamed to anyone who might be listening, I'm not real! I'm not real! Don't believe any of it! None of it's real! And then everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, fun.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She got dressed, went to work, clocked in, clocked out, and then she walked home. But her walk on this day was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Moments after seeing him, she would turn, run to the nearest police station, and call for an ambulance. But for just a few brief seconds, she merely stood there, unable to move. The tragedy was not the death of a single person. It was that she would never know this man's story, never hear in his own words what had happened to him, or what he believed had happened to him.
Why is that a
For
tragedy?
to know these things would be to exist inside the head of the man himself. So all she could do was observe from a distance and pity him. But Mariella had places to be and people to meet with, very important people, whose impressions of her would affect her career and indeed the rest of her life. She stood there for only a moment, looking down at the body, and then she ran.
But she doesn't actually run. She just stands there until the end of the game. Okay, so what was the point of that? There's no point. What was the point of that? You went downstairs and you die. What was... I don't Why? What was the point of that? All right, let's do the other thing.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers.
This really doesn't work. The fact that the game is telling you what to think, that really doesn't work. Unless, I mean, it doesn't work on me. I don't know if any of you guys, when you see something like this, I don't know if any of you guys ever actually believe what they tell you. I don't know.
He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So
Like
the
that.
thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
That's not me. The game's trying to tell
When
you
Stanley
who you
came to
are.
a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction.
Can we actually go back there? I think we can. Never mind that.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Maybe this is why everyone had left. No one wanted to be around someone as bad at listening as him. And since he was walking into the middle of nowhere and thus ruining the entire story, Stanley decided that he would punish himself. So when he came to the elevator and the doors opened, he stepped inside and pushed the button to go up.
Alright, so here we go. So now we are... I don't understand what the... So why is this different from the other one? The first time, or when the other time, we go left to the corridor, and we go downstairs and then we die. And I don't think... I can't figure out if there was any point to that part of the story, because you just kind of go downstairs and die. Like, what the... And then Mariella, she just kind of sees you lying there, and then she calls the cops and calls the ambulance, and that's it. And I don't know what's the point of that. That just seems normal. But this time, if you go right at the first choice, and then you keep ignoring the instructions, you get to here. Why don't I die this time? Like, why do I die the other time and not here? Alright, let's go down, down, down. Where's the... Did I...
Oh, Stanley.
Okay.
You know, you really aren't going anywhere, and I don't say that deceitfully. I truthfully mean that there isn't a story down here. The story was back up where I told you to go in the first place. Right now, you're just running around looking at empty halls. And frankly, that's perhaps even more infuriating for me. So why don't you throw me a bone, give me a chance, and just let me tell the story I want to tell,
I've done that already. I've already told you. I've already let you tell the story you want to tell. And then down, down. No, can't go down anymore. Does this corridor actually go back to the same place?
Now listen carefully. This is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Wait, is it different this time? Can I save the game? Can I save? Alright, I'm gonna save this. I don't want to listen to all that again. I should have done that myself earlier. This is black.
Good, good. Now, if you don't mind, there's something I'd like to show you. But to do that, I think it would be best for us to start from the beginning.
And the game restarts.
This
Really?
is a very sad story about the death of a man
Oh no, here we
named
go.
Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. His job pushing buttons demanded little of him, so there was not much of himself to give, and in this way Stanley's job felt less and less like his every day. But if buttons need pushing one day, it means they'll need pushing the next and then the next. So without question or judgment, Stanley continued to do what the screen told him. One keystroke flowed into another keystroke, flowed into his ride home, flowed into dinner, flowed into waking up, flowed into going to work, and here he was again. Stanley was typing out a complete sentence that said absolutely nothing at all. If in reality no one ever actually disappeared from the office, and Stanley never got the opportunity to make a decision, to choose which path he wanted to take, would his life still have any meaning? Perhaps when we long for something deeply enough, these hopes and fantasies become so strong in our minds that we truly believe that we're there, controlling that person and living that adventure. To manipulate your own thoughts and emotions might mean freedom from a self-imposed prison, but these delusions can be fatal to those who can't tell the difference. And so, Stanley asked, if that door never opened, if I'll never be able to walk away from those people and from these buttons, is this life still worth experiencing? Am I actually happy? Stanley answered this question by pushing a button. Then he pushed a button, and then he pushed a button. Then he pushed a button. Then he pushed a button.
I wasn't really listening to that. Also, did you notice the chair was different? On the other side? I want to listen to that again. I wasn't actually paying attention. Oh my god, you can't load the game. You can't... Oh no. Oh no, you can't load games? Is it my fault or is it the game's fault? That the save games aren't activated. Oh no, this game. Oh no. No way. Okay, I won't waste your time. Let me go back to the red door. I want to listen to that again. So there was the big, huge philosophical exposition there. Kind of, you know, questioning what people tell you. Or I do that already. Alright, game. I do that already. Oh no. I mean... Okay, I'll play through this back to that point again. Actually, no, I'll just watch the video. I'm not gonna make you sit through the red door again. Let's go back and take the blue door.
Carefully. This is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Alright.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, I heard you.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay. Oh, there's a blue door here. Oh, look at that.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Ooh, look. It's a test chamber.
You see? It's nothing. No one's even built this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. It's just a bunch of skybox and dev wall textures. That's it. Is this what you were looking for? Was it worth ruining the story I'd written out for you? I put a lot of time into that, and now well, here you are now, just looking at nothing.
Skybox.
To think that that's all I needed to make in the first place, just a whole lot of nothing, and you would have been happy. Well, hey, you still need a little something to do. Am I right? Here, let me load up another map. See if there's something in here that'll keep you occupied.
Why is there a light in the corner?
Here's one. Let's boot this up. We'll see if you like it.
Alright, I'm probably going back to the same one. Come on game, let's go. Well, that was faintly amusing. Faintly amusing. Wait, did we actually load into Half-Life 2?
Well, Stanley, is this any better?
Yes.
I don't know why it would be. This map wasn't even made for you. At least I created a world specifically with you in mind. I wanted to make you a leading man. This one, well, I'm afraid you're on your own there.
This game is much better than the Stanley Parable. We're missing a lot of things though. We don't have the Vortigaunts and everything else. Anyway, let's play Half-Life 2. We're gonna kill Dr. Breen or something. I don't... Wait a minute. These weren't here before.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Your mum.
He probably only got his job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That, or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Your mom's addicted to drugs and hookers. Oh look, there's my room. We can't go in there. Oh look, there's the train to what's the place again? The Nova Prospect, that's right. Man, I should play this game again, I'm forgetting these things. Where's Barney? Barney's not here. Slacking off from his job.